What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Let's get moving as fast as possible. I want to make this short enough that you guys don't have to sit here for an entire university, session. Forgive my squeaky chair. I got to get a new chair. I got that one behind me, but it's not mine. It's the guy. I share this office with somebody else. He's like never here, but it's his chair, and I don't want to sit in it too much. Anywho, let's go.
Read it for free in their web browser at understandingrelationships.com. Just subscribe to the email newsletter. So you got no excuses to learn this stuff. All it takes is your name and your email, and boom, you'll be reading it instantly on any mobile device. You gotta learn the basics. So he started dating a woman about a year ago, and things got serious pretty quickly. But about a month into their relationship, her son dies in a violent crime. And ever since then, she's backed away, and he says he's tried to be supportive, but you can tell he's way more into her than she is in him. And he's literally, without realizing, is chasing her right out of his life to the point where she's telling him that she needs space because he's controlling. And
He just wants it to be where he wants it to be. And whenever you focus on what you want in a relation, like in your individual life, going after what you want is completely fine. But when you want something and it involves another person, a woman, and if you're a woman, a man, right? Well, if it involves another person and you're trying to direct it in a way that you want it and that person's resisting you, then they are clearly not feeling it. Her son dies in a violent crime, and he's like, well, you know, it's not what he's saying, but his energy is coming off in a way of, I want this to work out in this way, and I need it to work this way. I want it to work out now. I want to be together, and I want to, I want to be supportive. And whenever you're thirsty like that, no matter what happens, people are going to back away from you when they're not ready. So, and clearly this woman's still going through a very, tough time because she lost her son to a violent crime. And this guy's trying to push it.
And so he doesn't recognize that he's acting needy and somewhat neurotic. But again, I can't roast him too bad because he's brand new to my work and hasn't read the book, but got to read the book, dude. No way to get around it. There's no shortcuts to success. And just from reading this, it sounds like it's a pretty simple situation to resolve, but there's also some things that you'll see at the end of the email that she's doing that are some red flags that we need to be concerned about as well. So he says, hey, coach, I haven't read your books. I just saw some of your videos on YouTube after looking for answers to my situation. Well, the way you're behaving is totally unmasculine. You're acting more feminine and girly and unsure of yourself. You're acting like the chick in the relationship. And that's why it's turning your girl off. And that's why she gets a little cranky and a little bitchy, is because you're acting weak. In a way, she's poking and prodding your strength, hoping that you'll start acting like a man consistently and stand up to her when her behavior is inappropriate or she talks to you in a condescending or a bitchy tone. Women like it when a guy calls them out on their BS. He says, so I met my girlfriend about a year ago and we hit it off pretty quickly. Lots of sex and hung out every weekend. But soon after, about a month into the relationship, a tragedy happened and her son passed away due to a violent crime. After this happened, she would have cold and hot days towards me, which I understood due to this tragedy. I just tried to be by her side whenever she needed, but she seemed to push me away on those cold days, which I respected.
Now, before I want to nail the point home a little bit more. When someone's emotions are rocked, right? Could be a breakup, a divorce, somebody dying, a death in the family, and you are on the other side and you're dating a person that's in that situation, you have to have more emotional self-control than normal, because that person is going to be hot and they're going to be cold and they're going to want space and they're going to want time, and then they're going to want to be around you and be comfort. And it's going to be confusing to you because you are looking for a regular relationship where you can reach out and have a conversation. And sometimes they're going to be so cold that you're like, do they even like me anymore? So you have to be cool.
I would have to say after reading his email, no, you didn't respect it. She'd push you away and say, I need space, and then you would keep chasing after her. You're constantly looking for attention and validation from her, instead of simply focusing on your purpose and your mission in life and allowing her to come to you at her pace. As the months wore on, it has gotten worse. She started to drift away more and more, cold days, not texting or calling or initiating contact. And here's where he says, I'll admit I was doing most of that, which is a mistake. Yeah, as I talk about in 3% Man, a guy shouldn't do more than 20 to 30% of it. And anytime he does, it's too much pursuit. And especially when it's 50-50. Whenever I'm doing a phone session, the guy is telling me that he's reaching out 50% of the time and she's reaching out 50% of the time. I already know that at some point when he's in his story, he's going to get to, oh, and she friend zoned me. Because what happens is there's no sexual polarity. And when it's 50-50 like that, a lot of women, they've been propagandized by the TV, and they believe the feminist nonsense. It's going to be 50-50. It's like, well, there's some things that you got to have the sexual polarity. Otherwise, a woman's going to be like, oh, there's no chemistry. There's no spark. Something's missing. You're a great guy, but
Exactly.
I should be feeling something more by now.
A lot of the guys I coach too are like that. They're not even doing 50-50. They're doing more than her. And they're like, why isn't she interested in me? And especially young guys. Young guys are on the fucking phone so much that they can't even, there is no mystery at all. And then these girls move on to some guy who doesn't give a fuck about texting her all the time and pursuing her all the time. So
And women go off what they feel. They care about how they feel about you, not how much you like them. How much you like a woman has no effect on her interest in you.
exactly.
She
Facts.
cares about how she feels about you. She stated to me that right now she can't give me what I want in a relationship due to her grieving, and her mind is focused on other stuff like her other kids right now. So this is just that statement alone is the kind of statement that, so there's a couple things here. Guys that understand my work understand what this means. When a woman says I can't give you what you want, she's being over pursued. She feels like she's being smothered. And as Thich Nhat Hanh said, you must love in such a way that the person you love feels free. So she doesn't feel free. She doesn't feel like she's making the choice to choose him because he's always up in her shit, basically. Always looking for attention and validation like a needy, insecure little girl, instead of being a man who has a healthy self-esteem and feels good whether his girl's with him or not. And so the other thing is, because I think he said they're in their 40s. Yeah, I said they're both in their early 40s. So obviously, I guess her kids are mostly grown, or maybe they're teenagers. And then you'll have these douchebags in the red pill community going, "Don't date single moms because they'll only focus on their kids and not you, and not make you a priority." It's like what's happening here is he's over pursuing her and smothering her to the point where she wants to get away from him instead of him being the rock and the mountain in her life and being the escape from this horrible tragedy that's happened. One of her kids dying. He's acting in essence like another one of her children that need attention and validation. And so he doesn't seem strong. He does.
Fire. Fire. It's true. And a lot of dudes, I'll go back so you guys can listen to his point again. That is what a lot of dudes are doing. So this situation, yes, there is there's a specific situation here where the mom, the lady lost her son, right? But the other point that I want to tell you guys about is the amount of dudes that want to replace their mom with their girlfriend, right? And they're so needy and so uh attention seeking that they can't even have a real relationship. They can't even set dates because that girl, like, they are just constantly like, why are you not texting me? Why are you not blah blah blah? And they're wondering why that girl wants to be with somebody else or why they even want space. Women just need to be able to breathe and think about you and think that this entire thing is their idea. And as soon as you're up in their grill all the time, like, hey, 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 she's gonna be like, dude, like, can you please just, and that's why the testing will start, because she's gonna be like, can you please just be a man and just fuck off a little bit? And so if you're a young guy watching this, make sure that you're just living your life. Focus on your mission. Focus on your mission. And if you don't know what your mission is, create one. Okay. My mission in life, when I was born and growing up into a teenager, was never to create a media company, but that's what I'm doing now. And I love doing it because I get to do YouTube all day long and do what I love to do all day long, work out and have fun, right? And play video games and do what I want and choose. I think having the freedom is what gave me that love. So focus on your mission, fellas, because it's going to make you focus on something other than her. Because if you're not focused on her, on your mission, you're automatically going to focus on her and make her your mission because you care about her, right? So you have to care about something else in life other than her.
This horrible tragedy that's happened, one of her kids dying, he's acting in essence like another one of her children that need attention and validation. And so he doesn't seem strong. He doesn't seem masculine. So she doesn't feel safe and comfortable enough trusting his masculine core because he's basically treating her like his mommy.
I
And
need you. I
she's got
need you.
enough to deal with. He's overwhelming her basically instead of allowing her to come to him at her pace.
I need you. I
It's
need
like it
you.
doesn't matter whether she's a single mom or not. Any woman you treat that way is going to be repulsed. And so logically, when she says, "Oh, it's grieving because of her son," and she's focused on her other kids, what she's basically saying is, "You're not that important to me. You're not a priority to me." She doesn't. Scarcity creates value, and he's too abundant in her life, and she doesn't want to feel like she's got to make the guy happy. He said she said that she needed some space due to feeling controlled by me. Again, he's trying to force himself into her life instead of allowing her to come to him. So it's like he's already admitted that he's doing most of the pursuing.
And this comes from fear, fellas. Whenever a woman is not that sure about you, and then you start to feel it and realize that she just needs, she's pulling away, that fear, again, which is in Sedona method, remember, egg flap cap, apathy, grief, fear, lust, anger, and pride, right? So when you're fearful and you're lusting, like you desire her and you desire for her to be in a specific place in a relationship or how she feels about you, you're going to freak out when she's not feeling the same way as you. And now you're going to try so hard to stop her from wanting to leave you by being around, which is so ass backwards. It's counterintuitive how attraction actually works. And the best way to make it to just let them come to you. Let them live their lives without you so that they can invite you into theirs and then you can invite her into yours. It's that simple. And that's whenever I've gotten students to do that, their success with relationships, long-term relationships, skyrockets. I'm like, man, just focus on your mission. What are you doing like 6 days a week? You know? And yeah, dude, it's crazy what guys do in order to try to stop a relationship from failing. And all you got to do is just back off.
Instead of allowing her to come to him. So it's like he's already admitted that he's doing most of the pursuing. And quite frankly, I'm surprised she's still with him after all of this time because it sounds like she's maybe doing 5% of the pursuing and he's doing 95% of it. And it doesn't sound like they get together very often.
Right.
It's like maybe she throws him a mercy fuck every now and then just to get him off her back. He says, so it's been a week and I haven't contacted her after that conversation, but she called me one time for 5 minutes to tell me she's feeling under the weather and felt the cold coming on in the morning before work. He says, I called her later that same day at night to check up on how she's feeling, but she did not answer. Again, when a woman tells you that she needs space, what she's saying is, you're smothering me. Stop calling and texting me 24/7. Stop looking for attention and validation and expecting me to be your mommy. That's what's really going on here. And so she reaches out once and he thinks, okay, well, the space is over. Let me go back to over pursuing her. This is the same kind of things that guys do when they have a breakup and then the woman pushes him away and friend zones a guy because he's just smothering the shit out of her. And then he finally backs off for a few weeks or a month or so. She comes back, and as soon as she starts reaching out, they go right back to the same behavior.
All the fucking time. I have students that have done that before and they're like, let's pick up where we left off. Let's get back to where we were. It's like, no, slow, relax. Just that anxious energy, that anxiety is not what women want in a man. That they want a man to be strong and centered and basically just not give a shit about where things are going to go emotionally. Okay, they don't want to date a girlfriend with a penis. Okay,
Backs off for a few weeks or a month or so. She comes back, and as soon as she starts reaching out, they go right back to the same behavior where they chased her out of their lives the first time. And that's what this guy's doing. He's literally chasing her out of his life. He says, I know grieving has no time limit, and I do want to be with her. The thing you're not paying attention to is how much does she want to be with you? What is her effort, her level of effort to be with you?
good point.
It's not there. You're more into her than she's into you. He says, but it is hard at the same time because it went from talking daily to now this.
It's also hard for him to figure out how into him she is because he's not letting her reach out to him. He's just up her ass all the time.
Yeah, it went from that for.
And like, sorry, I want to add another point. If you want to figure out if somebody's into you, you have to let them be, and they'll show you how interested in you they are. And it'll take a little bit of time, right? But a relationship, men in the beginning look at it very analytically. Is this person reaching out to me? Are they texting me? Are they calling me? And women, when they're interested in you, will call you and text you all the fucking time. They're literally up your ass all the time. And yeah, they'll have little breaks throughout the month or whatever. But look, they're going to be all over you all the time when they're into you. So all you have to do is just it's this advice is almost too simple for men to understand, because all you really have to do in life as a guy is just do what makes you happy. Do your thing as an individual guy, and you will have women. Women aren't going to come knocking on your door, of course, but they are going. The women that you do meet, and you start, courting them and whatever, they're going to be chasing you. They're going to be pursuing you. Women that are very interested in guys just text the fuck out of you and want to see you all the time and want to have sex with you all the time.
Time, because it went from talking daily to now this. Yeah, it went from that for about 11 months ago. It was like that, and now it's obviously you've been seeking her attention and validation ever since. He says, I won't initiate any more contact, but I'll admit it's not a good feeling because I miss her. Exactly, it sucks. But the problem is the reason why you feel this way is because you're acting unnaturally. You're not acting like a man acts. You're basically acting like a woman. You're all up in your feelings and you're in your feminine energy. That's not your natural essence. That's why it doesn't feel good. He says, we're in our early 40s, by the way, and she has other kids to take care of. I have no kids of my own. Lastly, there are other issues. She has a pretty rough personality. I'm not sure if it's the grieving or her true self coming out after all this time. She does like to yell, talk down to me, and never agrees with me on different things. That's because she doesn't respect you as a man. She thinks you're a bitch. I know it's harsh, but that's the way she looks at you. And the other part is you don't stand up for yourself. You just sit there and you allow her to browbeat you into submission, and you just take it. It's like the dog's been kicked one too many times. It just sits around and lets you kick it.
And remember, women need to respect you before they love you. The second that you're letting any kind of behavior like that happen just because you want pussy, a lot of guys are so afraid to, stand up to a woman because they're like, oh, what, if I stand up to her, she'll get mad at me and then I won't be able to hang out with her and I won't be able to have sex with her. And it's just like, dude, like, fuck, man. Like, a man speaks up and says what he feels. If something bothers him, you say it. If you want something, go get it. Like, sometimes, students will cross a line with me, for example, and I'm like, look, see you, bye, right? No tolerance. And they're like, sorry, sorry, sorry. I'm like, no, bye, no. Like, I have zero space for people that are weirdos and drama seeking, and they take out their life issues on me, your coach, trying to help you. And I'm not perfect. Sometimes I fuck up and I'm not around for a couple of days, whatever. And I'll say, hey guys, I'm back. I was busy. I also have to live my fucking life too. You know what I mean? So I don't apologize to them for that. I just say, hey, I've been gone for a bit. What's up? And then so I've had students before that are like, bro, like, you said that you're available, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, I'm available like 330 days a year for you. Like, calm down. And as soon as people get, testy, I'm just like, see you later, man. Like, right. So if you have to be a man in this life, and people will respect you when you stand up for yourself. Yeah, they'll get a little butthurt, right? People will get butthurt because you're standing up to them and you're telling them no. So what? Right? A woman needs you to stand up to her when she's it's not even just like, not every woman is going to try to be like that, but sometimes people just get agitated or irritated about things and then they'll take it out on you. They have to know it's not okay to treat you like that. Okay. And a lot of men that have reached out to me for help. They're in a situation in life with a woman or whatever. And they're like, yeah, like, she yells at me and she talks down to me. And again, because of respect. And I'm like, dude, like, you've been letting her walk all over you for the last 2 years or 6 months or whatever it is.
The fact that she's yelling at us, say, look, don't talk to me like that. It's like, that's not loving and kind. If there's something that's bothering you, we can talk it out, but you're not going to yell at me. And if she continues to yell, I just say, look, I'm going to go. You call me when you calm down and you're ready to apologize and act like an adult. I'm not going to put up with this crap. It's just not loving. It's not kind. It's not sweet. And I'm not going to deal with it. And then leave. If she won't, you ask her in a loving way first. And if she still wants to yell at you, then you hop in your car and you leave and let her call you a few days later. The fact that she's talking down to you, that just shows she doesn't respect you. And disagreeing with you, it's like she's combative and picking fights because she's just hoping you'll stand up for yourself and start acting like a man consistently. That's what she really needs. He says has the mindset that she also has the mindset that she knows everything. And if I don't agree, it's World War III. Again, because no one will ever do or say anything to you that you don't invite them to do. You're enabling her behavior. Just like Johnny Depp enabled Amber Heard's behavior. He was too nice and too soft. And he put up with a woman she's got multiple think she's got personality disorder. She's got all kinds of mental health issues, which are exacerbated by a guy that's being too nice and soft and putting up with their crap. Whatever you tolerate, you invite more of into your life. And so you're tolerating her bitchy behavior. You're tolerating her talking down to you. You're tolerating her being combative, and you're not saying anything because you're worried about losing access to the box. She's gone through my phone, but won't let me see hers, which is a red flag. Yeah, if you're hardly ever seeing her, she's probably fucking some other guy. Because if she ain't fucking you, she's fucking somebody else. And people that constantly accuse you of cheating or doing something wrong, they're projecting. No one will ever do or
Mm-hmm.
say anything to you that isn't a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves in a moment. He
Mm-hmm.
says, she calls me insecure, which I don't agree with. Well, you are insecure because that's why you over pursue. Because you don't reach out because you miss her. You reach out because you want to know if she still likes you or if she still cares about you. That's
Validation.
insecure. A man is not concerned with these things.
Validation. Men today are validation seeking dudes. They're seeking so much. Oh my God, I need you to just reinforce how much you love me. Oh my God, please love me. And again, it's away from your mission and what you should be focused on. And I know it sounds repetitive. I get it. It's the same fucking shit over and over again, but that's the point. That's what gets results. If you want results, you have to do what works. And if you are focused on her all the fucking time and what she feels about you all the time, you're only going to get rejected and dumped. And you have to let her, come to you at her pace. When a woman's into you, like I said earlier, she will be up your ass all the time. Trust me.
A man is focused on giving his love and his presence to people who value it and who reciprocate it. And then when people don't value and reciprocate, then he stops giving them his attention and his time.
Another big part of it, guys, is you guys are afraid to be alone. Okay. If my wife left right now, this room right here is where I would be, right? This is my office, right? But I have a place where I go back home to every day. And I would leave, I would take my shit, bring it all here, and this is where I would be until I got an apartment or whatever. I wouldn't even really need an apartment. Everything I need is here, right? And I would just be focused on my fucking mission 24 hours a day, right? And then I'd meet another girl someday. I'm not afraid to be alone, and you guys shouldn't either. You guys are just probably so used to uh relationships and how they make you feel that without one you feel useless or worthless. And when you're successful in your mission, you're going to feel like you have something to give society. You're going to feel like you have value to give, which is going to make you feel better about yourself every day.
So she is right. You are insecure. You're treating her like your mommy instead of your queen and your teammate. He says, I didn't see this subject in your video, so I thought I'd email you. Well, you gotta read the book, dude. You have to. If you want to have a chance at turning this around and get her to the point where she's head over heels in love with you and wants to be with you all the time and is stuck to you like a sucker fish, that's what women do and how they behave when they're in love with you. They always want to be around you. They always want to be touching you. They want to be close to you all the time. They want your attention all the fucking time. But you are doing the opposite of what you need to be doing in order to attract her back into your life. So what I would do nothing. I mean, you did say here that you're not going to contact her anymore. Let her do 100% of the pursuing.
Right.
When you hear from her, assume she wants to see you, make a date. You're only going to ask 2 times in a row. And if 2 different times when she reaches out first, you invite her over for a date or out for a date, and she declines or gives you a bullshit answer, then never ask her out again or bring it up again unless she brings it up first. But we got some things to be concerned about. The issue with the phone. If she's going through your phone because she's worried you're doing something wrong, more than likely that reveals that she's probably doing something wrong. And so you won't really find out the truth until you allow her to come to you at her pace and she falls in love. Then she'll tell you what's really going on and why she's so concerned about what's in your phone. So there's a couple of things that could potentially be major red flags. Again, when somebody liars and cheaters, what they do is they accuse everybody else in their life of being a liar and a cheater because that's who they are. They project what's inside in order to disassociate themselves from it and absolve themselves from any blame. But you got to read the book, dude, 10 to 15 times, and you got to apply what it teaches and let her do 100% of the pursuing. Make dates when you hear from her. Again, if she reaches out, you should look at also what 7 Principles Get an X Back says. So and I discussed this in the book, if you ask twice, 2 different consecutive occasions when she reaches out, you try to set dates, and she's just like, oh, I'm busy. Oh, I got to get my life together. Oh, I'm just having such a tough time, or whatever it happens to be. The bottom line is her actions are saying, She doesn't really give a shit about getting together with you because you want to spend your time with somebody who's like, hell yeah, I'd love to see you. I'd love to spend time. I miss you.
Exactly. That's it, fellas. You know, you don't have to do anything more than that. You have to just see reality. And look, sometimes people, again, so here's the result that you're looking for. You want a woman to be attached to you, as Corey Wayne said, like a suckerfish, right? And that's what women are going to be like. They're going to be up your ass when they're interested in you and attracted to you. And when you are not getting that, then the woman that you are involved with is not in love with you, not attracted to you enough. So again, stay focused on your mission and set proper dates and go and circulate. Okay. Circulation is a good thing. And when you circulate enough, okay, you're going to end up finding a woman that you really like and a woman that's going to be really, really into you. All the guys here that watch my channel, most of you guys have been in relationships before. You guys understand that when a woman's into you, she's into you, and you know it. It's fucking obvious. But you can't start trying to force people to be into you more than they really are by doing something. You have to basically back off and do nothing and let them come to you more often than not. Okay, that's it for this video. Coaching's down below. You should see it here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Done.